straight up, I fucking hated this man from the beginning.
The bottom sluts are not going to like it very much.
Well, from now on, the H is silent.
Yeah, we heard you the first 7 times, buddy.
Dead. Instant death, I'm sorry. Dead.
Give me your heart, child.
I'll fucking show you, moon mad bitch.
Hello.
Hello.
Another day, another dollar that we're not earning, and another moment in history and time where we read a book.
We did read a book.
Yes. Did you see what I was talking about?
Yeah.
Did me giving you a heads up help
Yes.
with that, or would you have been like,
no, yeah.
Choop, 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 choop?
No. I'm glad you said something. Yeah, okay, so here's the thing. Straight up, I fucking hated this man from the beginning. Immediately. The rage okay.
It's gonna be that kind of book.
Okay,
be
it's
that kind
just
of episode.
I had a lot of rage towards him.
And then that happened and you were gonna DNF. But I warned you.
You did warn me, yeah.
Did you end up finishing it? Or did no, I didn't know if he hated if you made you hate shit enough. So this week's niche category was Primal Shifter. And I talk about this a lot at the end, but I'm going to, I guess, spoil ahead of time. This did not fit the category as well as it should have at all.
No.
And I'm very sad and disappointed by that because I went down a Reddit rabbit hole that brought me this book.
Again, though, that's what happens with so many of these other books we've been doing is they've been bringing us down these rabbit holes and they seem like they're okay.
Yeah, I can understand a little bit where they came from because, yes, there is a scene, but I'm going to talk about that later. So I understand how this got misconstrued, but it wasn't what I specifically was looking for. But I was a little greedy and I did put 2 Primal Shifters on this wheel.
Yes,
so
you
I
did.
already get my own redo. Yay. This week, we read The Tyrant Alpha's Rejected Mate by Cate C. Wells. Our FMC is Una, and she's a shifter wolf at the bottom of her pack. Her pack is very slow to change old ways and has been a very good old boys club for a very long time.
Welcome to the southern United States.
Yeah, slowly starting to turn where instead of women are just being things and objects, they can work and do chores and be mates.
I don't want to mate.
That's where they were. So I'm just saying when we haven't gotten to the full amazingness, just know that that's where they were. Yeah. They're not just kept in a basement and used as sex toys. Anymore.
Like the anymore.
Una is still at the bottom of the hierarchy because she has a lame leg that was injured in an accident.
Sorry.
When she was young and never healed properly.
I'm about to annoy the kids. Instead of una, uno, dos, tres, cuatro, I know you want me.
I got what's my name? What's my name? Uma, say it louder. Even though
I don't know that song.
Whoa. You've never watched Descendants?
No.
Sad. Shame. Descendants?
No, I never watched it.
God, you and Grace need to have a marathon this
Grace
weekend.
just wasn't into it. That's why we never watched it.
You guys need to have a marathon this weekend. At least the first one.
We'll see.
That's not going to happen. Anyways. Yeah, so there was an attack when she was a little girl, mangled her leg. And it's a very big deal in the shifter community, or at least this shifter community, to have such a weakness. So she's waiting tables at the main house while her pack is enjoying their drinks for the evening, and she's struggling under the weight of her tray. And she can't help but notice her alpha, Killian. She's never really given him much thought before, other than he's not as bad as the alpha before him, but he's still mean and cruel and does what needs to be done. But she just can't stop looking at him. And he's overseeing a challenge on his beta. The beta wins. Una, though, is burning up. And then she realizes that she's going into her first heat. She's not had a heat prior. Wolves usually go into their heat when they're about 16 in this book. And she's told she might just be a late bloomer, or it's because her wolf is skittish due to what happened to her leg. And typically, the first shift happens after the first heat or during. If they have a mate, most of the time, that is when it will be known. And sure enough, that's what happens. Una goes into heat and starts to shift when a female walks up and caresses Killian's face, and Una loses it. And now shifted, attacks the girl, Hazley. But Hazley easily shifts and puts Una down, going straight for her throat. She's like much bigger than her.
Doesn't take much at this point. No. Everyone is bigger than her.
Yeah. She's a very, very tiny girl and a very tiny wolf. And her legs don't really work because it works Shifter and her. Killian stops it, saying enough, and then forces his alpha command to Una to make her shift back, which triggers the healing so at least she doesn't die.
Yeah.
But then he asks her why she attacked Hazley. And she basically is like, he knows why. If she recognized him as her mate, obviously he would have felt the same. But he says, humor him. Just tell him. She says, because he's her mate. And he tries to say it's very well known that he has no mate. And even if he did have a mate, she wouldn't be weak or incapable of defending herself because he's an alpha. Fate wouldn't allow that. Yeah. Una doesn't necessarily want him either.
No.
That's just who was chosen
a dick.
for her.
He's a dick.
Because, yes, he's an alpha asshole.
He really is one of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, though, she can't help being hurt by his words. You know, it's not what she wanted to begin with, but he keeps going. And he says that he has fought hard for this pack. What gives her the right to claim that rank that she's trying to? And that she must be confused. She should go back to the kitchen. And he turns his back on her.
Dead. Instant death, I'm sorry. Dead.
She's still bloody and healing, and she just got a beat down, and she's still in heat, and yeah.
Death.
Una feels like she's going to suffocate, and the whole room erupts with laughter. And Killian's beta escorts her to the back door where the dumpsters are, telling her to go home and not come back around for a while. Una gets a little frustrated, recalling his comment about what has she done, and she thinks about, in her head, how much she has dedicated to this pack for the last 27 years. She's cooked for them, cleaned for them, washed their clothes, taught herself everything that she knows, and then taught other unmated females how to gather food, how to preserve food, how to raise animals, how to keep bees, all kinds of stuff, and even figure out how to side hustle to sell most of this stuff at a human market. She's responsible for the starting of all of that. So she may not be mate material for him, but she has done a lot of good in her life for the pack. And she could leave. She could go off on her own now that she has a wolf. She's considered that plenty throughout her life. This isn't exactly a shining pack to live at, but she can't leave her friends, the girls that she's surrounded herself with, like family, the other unmated females. She does feel defeated, though, and grief over now never going to have a mate. And she lets her wolf take over and shifts, the pain going through her, and the wolf stumbles forward, dragging her bad leg behind, and she takes off. Killian and Una grew up together. He's only a year or two older than her. They rode the bus every day to school when she was allowed to go. And he doesn't understand why she would say that he's her mate. He was there when she would have gone through her first heat. And he would have known. And they would have sensed it. So there's no way that he would be her mate. He doesn't realize that this is her first time. He thinks she must be going to moon mad because what a weird lie to tell. She's a wolf who keeps mostly to herself, but she did surprise him how scrappy she was picking a fight and going at it. He's worried though because maybe she's going feral. He needs to talk to the pack, like witchy crony lady, to figure out if she's okay.
Witchy crony lady.
I didn't really like that. They just called her the crone all the time because she's basically kind of like the pack healer, but she doesn't age and she's like basically witchy. And they
Yeah.
kind of revered her, but also like made her an outcast and
Yeah.
didn't
They were
really
kind
like
of,
it.
well, dicks to her, as
Yeah.
per
Well, she
usual.
was a female. So,
Facts.
yeah. The next day, Killian is in the pack gym training. His pack is built on fighters. That's how they make money. And after he's done training, him and his beta, Ty, sit in the sauna. Ty talks about how crazy the night before was and asks Killian, what if Una is his mate? Killian is adamant that she's not. He would have known. His wolf would have claimed her. He doesn't really believe in communicating with his wolf like most people. His wolf is strong, dominant, so is he. And if his wolf is hungry, he's hungry. There's no real need for communication. The wolf and the man are the same.
Sure.
Okay, buddy. Yep. Um,
Whatever you need to tell yourself.
yeah. Ty says that he went on patrol that morning and Una's scent was stale at her house, meaning she didn't go home last night. Killian starts snarling, fighting off the urge to shift, which confuses him because why is his wolf thinking differently than him? They are
Mhm.
one. Duh.
They are one.
He should not be forcing a shift. He wants to go track Una down, but she's fine. She's probably just sulking in the woods,
She's fine.
licking her wounds.
Yeah, sure.
So as he is fighting the shift off, he hollers to another wolf, the first one he can see, which is a younger wolf, and he tells him to go find Una and report back. So the crone's name is Abertha, which I wish they had just called her Bertha or Alberta because it was really hard to say. I'm not
Yeah.
gonna lie. Which is not my, it was just a me problem, absolutely. But if it sounds funny, I'm just trying to say it. I'm trying my best.
You're doing great. You're doing great, sweetie. Sorry.
Abertha and Fallon, the young wolf Killian sent, find Una fully in heat, suffering in the woods. Abertha tells Fallon to leave and go back to Killian, tries to get Una to shift back. Una does not have the energy, and she's in so much pain that she can't do it on her own, and Abertha has to force command her to do it. It doesn't stop the pain, though. Una begs Abertha to do anything, to stop this from happening, to knock her out, anything. Abertha says the only thing that she can think to do is remove the bond. But she doesn't want to do that because that would make it so she can't use the bond at all or call to her mate. No children, no nothing. Una says she doesn't care, that he doesn't
Una
want
is
her.
me. I'd be like, fuck this shit. No, thank you. Goodbye. I also didn't know that this was the thing that could happen. This is the first time I've ever read about like yanking a bond from somebody.
Not I, but I don't think it happens that often. But the past couple of years, I've been on a really big shifter kick, so I've probably read most of the ones that have like, you know, yeah, problems.
It's so funny because I just picture reaching into the person with like,
Her little claws.
and then he yank.
No. She's like witchy, remember? She's
I know, but I'm just saying that is what I thought of. You're physically reaching in. Go. Sorry.
give me your heart, child. It won't cost much, just your voice. It won't cost much, just your bond. You poor unfortunate soul. He rejected her. She's in pain. Yeah. Una doesn't care. He rejected her. Just make it stop. And Abertha reluctantly severs the bond, and suddenly the heat is over, and her body starts to heal. Una thanks her, and they make their way out of the woods to Abertha's cottage. Una is exhausted and sore and trying to heal up, and Abertha lets her stay the night, though just one night. while Una is miserable at the thought of having to face pack life after everything.
It was funny to me when she's talking about like she reluctantly gave me tea. Like, ugh, like it's such like an inconvenience. But
Well,
it
she doesn't want
was
her to feel like she can stay
I
longer.
know, but it was so funny because it's giving like I want to take care of you, but like,
It's I
get
felt a
out.
little bit of a kinship with Bertha.
I'm sure you did. I'm so sure you did.
We learned that Killian's father was a bit of a man whore and felt that as alpha, he had the right to rut any female in his pack. And one day, a man named Thomas Fane was extremely angry because he thought that his mate was with Declan, Killian's father. And he stumbled across where the children were playing in the commons, and his daughter Mary was in her little bassinet. Tiny baby, and he was very drunk, going on and on about how Declan was probably the father, and as he got closer to the basket, he kicked it, saying she was no child of his. And he aimed again to stomp on the baby when Una ran over and grabbed the baby to protect her. But then Thomas shifted and attacked Una and mangled her body. They thought she was going to heal once they got her free, but they don't know if it's because she was too young or if her leg was too mangled or if there was something weird in his saliva that gave her an infection, but nothing ever knit back properly together. And her mom had such a great sickness that she was dying from, anyways, and her dad had just recently passed. And she was quickly shifted from foster home to foster home until she could take care of herself. Una does make it back to her home, and as she's at the steps, Killian comes up behind her asking where she was. She said she was at Albertha's, and I wonder if the H is silent.
I don't know. Because it is a really weird name and it is really difficult to say. Are you just gonna call her Alberta from now on?
I'm Googling how to
Alberta.
pronounce it. There's an ad. Hold on.
Story of everybody's lives. Ads on everything.
Alberta. They are having the H be silent.
Well, from now on, the H is silent.
Pronouncenames.com tells me so I can call her Alberta. Yep. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Tell me I'm wrong.
Well, you know what they should have done? Put a
Give a
pronunciation
pronunciation guide.
key.
Yes. She says she was at Alberta's and that she's fine. She made a mistake about the whole thing. It still hurts, but the bond was severed and she can finally breathe. And she knows this is for the best. Killian tells her that it was foolish of her to attack Hazley. Hazley's got at least 40 pounds on her. Una says she knows, but he keeps going, saying she needs to compensate for her weakness. And she needs to think before she does stupid shit, because if folks figure that she's moon mad, it wouldn't be so good. She needs to buck up and just walk it off. Walk it off, walk it off.
Buck up, walk it off.
Una's pissed. Moon mad? He should know that she's his mate.
I'll
And
fucking show you, moon mad bitch.
he wouldn't have gone on the other night about how much she sucked in denial of being a mate if he thought she was just moon mad. Can't he just leave her alone? And she's quiet, not answering him. So he grabs her by the chin and asks what's wrong with her. Her wolf whimpers and he growls, and she asks what's wrong with him. Can't she just go now? He says no, caressing his cheek with her thumb, and then a voice calls out to him from across the way, and he just tells her not to leave the commons and pushes her back away, saying that she attacked a packmate without provocation, and she's probably halfway to moon mad. She needs to stay in the commons until he tells her she can leave. And he goes. Una heads in to face her roommates. They all surround her and check in on her like, who would want to be mated to Killian anyway? He smells like the gym. He yells a lot. Una appreciates it, but then she switches the talk over to their mushroom foraging. The next day, Killian is training when he gets a sudden message from his wolf. Again, they don't really communicate, saying just the words, too far from the commons. And he just gets this urge to go there, and then his wolf shifts for him and sends him on a mission. He finds himself at the car garage, where he finds Una and one of her roommates, Annie, talking to each other, and his wolf barks to shift. Annie shifts immediately. And then he realizes Liam, another wolf who's under the vehicle in the shop, yelps as he shifts
Like,
also.
Una's internal wolf is so funny. She's like,
No.
really? No.
She just is still standing there. Again, who's considered the weakest wolf in the pack is just standing there as the alpha wolf demands that she shifts.
Hmm.
He tries again aggressively to get her to shift, and she still just stands. And then his wolf walks up and whines, which he's not
And
responding.
he's like not happy about that. He goes, fucking whines. My wolf whines.
They are definitely separate in this moment because the wolf, instead of aggressively dealing with her not heeding commands, he just tries to get close to her and whines. And in the wolf's head, Killian is like, "What the fuck?" But he was also like thought that his wolf was going to eat her for a second, so he's kind of a little glad he didn't because that would be bad. That'd be a bad look. And his wolf gets closer until he rubs against Una's hand, which Una yelps back. The wolf tries again, and Una realizes that the wolf is in charge, not Killian. And she smiles, giving in, letting him nuzzle her until he's rolling on the floor at her feet, and she gets down so that he can get in her lap. And Killian's wolf is so happy. He doesn't understand how they're not on the same page. And Killian is so angry. His wolf is just acting like a lapdog. Killian's confused, and his wolf is basically calling him an idiot, calling her mate.
So here's the thing is like, I like one half of these people.
Yeah. Yeah. The wolf plays with her, and Una enjoys it until they end up where she's just petting him and he's lounging on her. And she quietly says to him that he needs to make Killian leave her alone. They're not mates anymore. Alberta fixed it. They can just go back to him ignoring her, won't cause any more scenes. The wolf does not like this. He bites her shirt and yanks, and she smacks him. The alpha wolf smacks him and says no. And then she realizes what she's done, so she freezes and shows her neck. But then he just licks her neck and pulls her shirt again. And Una scrambles away and tells the wolf again, like she's not a threat, she's not going to attack anyone else. It was a mistake. Everything go back to normal. But it was nice to meet Killian's better half, and she leaves and heads home.
Because realistically, that is Killian's better half.
She doesn't quite make it home before other wolves cross her path. Eamon and Laughlin. Eamon was Declan's beta, and Laughlin is Eamon's nephew. And they really want things to be back the old way where females knew their place. And they block Una's path, telling her that things have gotten way too lax around there. Bottom feeders are getting comfortable attacking their betters, and she needs to enjoy things while she can because change is coming, and the bottom sluts are not going to like it very much. And he grabs her arm and extends his claws enough to prick her, and then he slams his shoulder into her as they continue along their path. Which I honestly don't like that was never brought up again, like so his wolf couldn't smell that. Like it was just weird.
Yeah.
Una goes and gets ready and then heads to dinner to serve food and drinks, as is the job of an unmated female. And the whispers and stares are definitely there. Hazley makes a grand show about going up to Killian and sitting on his lap, and Killian does not stop her. No one is careful with their legs or feet as per usual, and unfortunately, Una is so in her head she does not avoid one of them and trips, going down, slamming to the ground, the tray she was carrying smashing around her. Everyone is laughing, but at this point, Una's basically checked out and she just sits herself up, tries to figure out how she's going to get off the floor. When one of the fighters, Gale, who was taking his turn on the floor, gets out of the fight and comes over to her and yells at Lachlan, who was the one who tripped her, and is laughing about it. And Gale helps her up, which Una's thankful for, until Killian lets out a loud roar and transforms into a wolf immediately, heading straight for Gale. Gale flings Una out of the way as Killian's wolf smashes into him, going nuts trying to maul Gale, who barely had time to shift and is trying to show submission. And it's obvious that Killian's wolf is going to go for the kill. And Una feels like she has to do something. Gale helped her. She doesn't know what. And her wolf just says to let her out. And she does. And she trots over to Killian's wolf, who stops, looks around the room at everyone, and then demands submission. And all the pack bends down and lowers themselves. And Una's wolf just sits on her bottom and starts licking herself.
It's so funny
Just,
though.
just,
I get it. I would too, girl. I'd be like, you want to try that again?
yeah. Killian's wolf actually likes her wolf.
Much to Killian's
Una
like
thinks that her
chagrin.
wolf is stupid because they're, of course, going to die, but she doesn't act like that or act like she cares on any level. Yeah. Killian's wolf tries howling again for her to submit, and her dumbass wolf just blinks at him. Like, you dare.
I don't even feel like it's dumbass wolf. I just think it's like she's such a petty bitch.
Killian's wolf gets off of Gale and heads for Una's wolf. And he just goes up to her and headbutts his head into her. And then shifts back. And then Killian takes the reins and shifts back. He is angry. He is angry. And then he scoops up Una's wolf and brings her outside, commanding her to shift. And instantly her wolf does, because her wolf is scared shitless of Killian and recognizes Killian as an alpha, but not Killian's wolf. Killian's wolf is her bitch, basically. Yeah. It's a weird concept there. Yeah, he tells her not to move and then heads in and grabs a cardigan for Luna and a pair of shorts for himself because they're naked because they just shifted back. And he looks at her and tells her that they are not mates. Luna says she knows. He says that this is the second time that she has caused a distraction in the pack, and he could have killed Gale. He will not tolerate this. Una tells him that's bullshit. He can't blame her because he can't control his wolf or the men in his circle, that Lachlan tripped her on purpose. How is this her fault, any of it? He tries to say he does control his males and that he will deal with it, but she tells him that Gale already dealt with it. Killian was too busy. And he locks her against the wall, slamming his hand against the wall, you know, bracketing her in, and tells her to be careful because her little wolf can't back up her mouth. Clearly, she has a death wish. Una says she doesn't need her little wolf. She has his big one. His wolf likes hers. And when he saw someone touch her, he actually wanted to do something about it. She says that Killian is just mad because he was forced to go along with it, that he should probably rein in the assholes unless he wants to be alpha to a pack of pathetic males that have to trip a female to make sure she knows her place. He wants to know how she has his wolf so enthralled. How did she do it? And he grabs her braid, forcing her closer to him, and she tries to say let go, but he says no. He wants to know why he doesn't smell her arousal, because it's clear that he is aroused. And she is happy about that because that would be humiliating if he could smell it. She doesn't understand why he can't, but good thing. And she just tells him because she doesn't like him. He says clearly her wolf does, and her wolf lets out a little whine, and Killian laughs, backing off, urging her back into the dining hall. Killian walks up to Lachlan and says that it's going to be between the two of them, leading him to the open floor where the fights have been going on. Lachlan happily goes because Lachlan thinks he can take Killian. Like, he's just waiting for his chance to, like, do an alpha fight.
Yeah, Lachlan is annoying. I want to punch him quite a bit, actually.
So Lachlan basically is all talk because he quickly has his ass handed to him, basically. But Killian makes fun out of it and kicks out his kneecap, basically making comments about needing to trip females with bad legs to feel like a big man. And how does a big man feel now? Because now he's playing on the same field. But then he gets tired of it and ends up kicking out his other leg and forces him with Alpha Command to stand, which is not so good with neither one of his knees working. They're broken. And he tells him that they do not harm females in this pack.
Well,
And then he tells Gale that there's an open seat at that higher table because the tables are all um, done by like the level of fighter you are for the pack, and Lachlan was like a top tier fighter, and now he's out. He has to go sit with the miners, and Gale gets to come up. And he tells Lachlan this is his chance. If he wants a shot at Alpha, take it now. But Lachlan has no knees and has no choice, or he's just going to be seen as weak if he tries to take Killian down now. And he just submits. And Lachlan needs to be taken on a stretcher. Killian's wolf tries to come around Una's house that evening, but her wolf is pretty pissed that he had someone on his lap and she's not coming outside, even when he's howling at her to do so. She makes it very clear to him that her wolf is not happy and he needs to go. Una's roommates, the other unmated females, are starting to freak out because what if he comes in? What if he sees all their contraband? Because the ladies have been doing their best to grow all this stuff and do all this stuff to have their own income. They're not supposed to leave pack territory. They're not supposed to be around humans at the markets. They're not supposed to have their own income. And they have phones and gaming consoles and TVs and all kinds of stuff that they shouldn't have in their little bunkhouse. And they urge Una to go outside and tell him to leave because they don't want him coming in. She goes out, tells Killian's wolf that her wolf is not coming, that she is tired and she's mad. The wolf shifts back and Killian is butt-ass naked, and he just sits on Una's porch telling her that he's not her mate. Yeah, we heard you the first 7 times, buddy. We heard you. Who are you trying to convince? Because she says she agrees with you.
Himself.
Well, obviously. But
Listen, if he says it enough times.
maybe his wolf will believe it then. I don't know. Killian's wolf will
There
not
it is.
let Killian leave, and that is the problem.
Killian's wolf is like, but I like
So
Killian's
then
wolf.
this douche canoe tries to get Una to come back to his cabin because maybe they can get it out of their system. That's the move that you're going to make, buddy? That's what you think is going to work?
Yes. He is but a man. Did I tell you I used the phrase "I'm just a woman" yesterday?
Did you?
I'm just a girl. So I was at work
I do
and
that all the time. I'm just a female. What do you want me to do?
so I was at work and we were like dragging the carts off, and then one of my friends, he came over and he goes, "I'll just help you move this cart," because there's nothing for him to do. I was like, "Oh, thank you so much. I am just a girl." And he laughed. He goes, "That is so wrong but so funny." I was like, "What can I say? Just a girl." I needed assistance from a man to do my job.
Oh, man. Una reiterates that she's not his mate. He said so himself, and he is not in her system. To get off her fucking porch. And she goes inside and slams the door and locks it. She tells her roommates, who are all peeking out the window, that they're all going to bed, even though Killian is still sitting on her porch looking at the sky. In the morning, after waking up on the porch, Killian heads to go visit the pack crone. And on his way, his wolf finds the area in the woods that Una's wolf went, bloodied from the fight in heat that night, and he's really affected by it. And he goes to talk to the crone and asks her if Una is his mate. Alberta asks if he asked her himself. Well, he's trying to remember if he actually did or not, but he does remember her agreeing with him when he said they weren't and saying that the crone fixed it. She asks if Killian remembers his first shift. Honestly, he just remembers pain and blood. Most of it's just a big blank. He was really young, only 9, which is basically unheard of. And the crone says that she's going to tell him a story. And she tells of a young wolf shifting for the first time to take on a grown wolf and killing him, ripping him limb from limb to save Una. It was Killian that stopped Thomas, and why only Una's leg what was mangled and not her whole life. Which none of them remember that because trauma. And that
I was just gonna say trauma does a lot to just like get rid of some of your memories of a lot of things.
We learn a
We
little bit
should
later that
know.
that's not the only thing, but yes. Um, but yeah, definitely. It took three enforcers to drag Killian away from the corpse. Killian's confused. He's never heard that story. And wouldn't that be something that people would talk about? The crone tells him that if the pack knew that he shifted long before his time, he would have had a target on his back. And his father knew that. And that the others wouldn't wait for Declan to die to challenge Killian to get him out of the way. He was barely 70 pounds. He was just a kid. So Declan swore his enforcers to secrecy, and it was never spoken of again. She explains that Killian's mother brought Killian and Una up to Alberta afterwards, and they both were almost dead. His own wolf was tearing him apart because it was too early to shift, and they weren't sure that Killian was even going to make it. They weren't sure that Una was going to make it, and that the bond between him and his wolf have suffered since because it was too early to let him out, and that he basically had to become one with his wolf to survive and adapt. But now he's getting in his own way. And he asks about Una, like, shouldn't he be able to tell that they're mates? And Alberta says they were. She pulled the mate bond out of Una. Una told Killian that she was his mate and he rejected her. He saw where she suffered. His own wolf recognizes her as his mate. Like, but he doesn't understand. Why wouldn't he have felt the bond when she shifted?
Killian needs to get his shit together and
Alberta
become one
counters.
with the wolf.
Alberta counters, asking if he really allows himself to feel anything. So would he have really felt it? And he gets mad, saying that she had no right to pull the bond out of Una. And she's basically, what else the fuck was she supposed to do? He had no claim over her. He
He wasn't
carelessly
gonna
threw her
help
away.
her. Like,
Right.
bitch, she was
Like,
suffering. Like, what the fuck did you want her to
exactly.
do? Like, I die?
Mm-hmm. Well,
Like,
he wants to know if there's really no way to reverse it. And she says she didn't say that. But she
that
doesn't know
is true.
how. Maybe he should just try
Girl,
to woo
she
her.
didn't even know it was gonna work in the first place. She was like shocked afterwards. She goes, huh,
Huh.
I wasn't even
Imagine
sure that
that.
was gonna work.
Yeah. Yeah. She just basically ends up being like the moon works in mysterious ways.
She's like a fake it till you make it. She's just like, it could work. Who the fuck knows? And she
Dude,
did.
I
Goes,
really
oh,
felt a kinship with her. I was
really,
like,
really was not sure
fine.
that was actually gonna happen, but
Yeah.
so glad it did, and you didn't die.
Yeah. She basically left him with bum squat. Just like try to get Una to like you. Be nice to her. Yeah.
What a weird
Ah.
concept. Be nice to a woman? What?
Mm.
To get her to like you? You mean you can't just like insult this woman and think she's gonna love you forever?
As I had mentioned previously, Una and her roommates, the other unmated females, have been illegally selling things against pack knowledge. And because they're not allowed to interact with humans, it has become a very secretive thing. And Una had discovered a patch of mushrooms that are in high demand. It's going to make her more money than just honey. And she sets up a meet with a buyer who wants them. And they plan to meet in exchange. And he's human, and that's not great, but she really wants to do it. And now that she's grounded to the territory, it's harder. So Annie said she would make the run. But Annie is skittish on the best of days, so having Killian outside the house all night long did not do well. So now Una has to go as originally planned. So when they realize that Killian's not around anymore, they don't know that he's off talking to Alberta, but he's not around their cabin anymore. He's busy. Una makes her move. She has made connections with all the lower people of the pack, the non-fighters of the pack, like all of those kind of people because she gets goods for them. She trades things for them. She has these connections. And so she grabs the car that's waiting for her at the garage because she supplies the mechanic with plenty of moonshine on a regular basis. And she heads to the market to meet the guy. The guy's a sleazebag and tries to say that he's disappointed in what he sees, even though it's
Since when are
exactly
men
what the
not
picture
sleaze
shows.
bags and
Yeah,
disappointing?
I know. And to further sleazebag him, he only offers her a third of the money and then tries to make a pass at her to earn the rest. She's not having that. And when Killian comes back from Alberta's cabin, he can't smell Una at the house anymore. And then he scares the shit out of her roommates to find out where she is. And when they say in town, she's pissed and he heads there. So when he sees the two of them together, he launches at the dude, sending Una flying, her jar of mushrooms shattering all over the pavement, ruined. The entire situation, being caught, the mushrooms being ruined, all that money and freedom down the drain makes Una start to cry, which distracts Killian from mauling the man and tries to figure out what the heck is wrong with her. And he's just being scary, and the townspeople are in the market are trying to help Una. Do they need to get her away from him? Like, is she safe sort of deal? Like, they know her. She's been coming there for a long time.
Yeah.
Like, they're going to help her. But Una assures them
As
that
they
humans,
should.
yeah, not going to hurt any humans, which was kind of a little unrealistic in this book, honestly, that all of them were like, I'm going to stop this from happening. But
Yeah.
especially to our current.
Well, sometimes we have to suspend disbelief.
Una assures them that Killian's not going to hurt anyone, and she heads back to the car with him following, and he takes the keys from her. And she's just so upset. She's been coming to this market for a long time, and now it's ruined. One shove was enough to take this all away. No money, no freedom, no phones, no nothing. Nothing to look forward to in their miserable pack life. Killian keeps trying to talk to her, but Una has nothing to say to him until he sits there and goads her for ignoring him like a child, and she loses it, saying that he's the one who followed her, ruined her mushrooms, ruined everything. He's just an asshole. And he laughs, saying, "What mushrooms?" So Una fucking loses it and turns into her wolf in the moving car, snapping at him, trying to fucking bite him. And he barely, but she's caught in their seatbelt. He barely pulls over as she draws blood from his shoulder. And then he gets her out of the car, tossing her onto the ground. But she lands on her bad leg, and her wolf shrieks, and the pain causes his wolf to emerge. And Una fucking books it. Her rage is pushing through the pain, but she's like dragging herself behind her. And then as she runs, she just kind of feels the freedom of running as a wolf. I mean, she doesn't really get that ever. She's just happy for a second, and then she realizes that Killian's wolf is chasing her, but that doesn't bother her wolf either. She kind of likes it. And she even turns around to like nip at him to encourage him to chase her. And he finally gets her and tackles her down in the chase and tops her, biting her shoulder. And this is the point where I was concerned that Crystal would rapidly move pages along because of what she thought was going to happen. But that is not what happens.
So in
Killian
case anyone
shifts.
does not understand, I do not like them fucking in their animal forms. So it's a little touch and go there for a second. To the fact, yes, to the point that Ariel had to call me and be like, "Hey,
So it's not gonna happen.
It's not what you think is
Keep
gonna
reading.
happen. It's fine. Just keep going because
Just keep
yeah."
reading, just keep reading. Yeah.
As much as
So
Ariel would have been fine with it, your girl is not.
Killian, as the man, commands her to shift back, and then he licks the bite mark where his wolf claimed her. And she just kind of snorts at him as he calls her his grumpy mate. She says she's sassy and not his mate.
Exactly.
And
bitch.
she just, yeah.
Sorry.
He
I
says
like her sassiness a lot.
Yeah. He says he talked to the crone. She says she rejects him.
Okay.
Period. He says
As
he
she,
can't.
bitch, as she should, because
He says
listen,
she can't because she wears his bite mark now.
well, I will cut it off. Just kidding.
I mean,
Just cut it out.
maybe.
It could work. It could work. Sorry.
He realizes that fear is coming off of her and he doesn't understand. Like, when has he ever hurt her? Bitch. She
When
says that
do we
he
need a list? I think the
trashed
list
her.
of when you haven't would be shorter.
Yeah, he says He trashed her in front of the whole pack, had Ty throw her out by the dumpsters, and then he stepped on her mushrooms, ruined her deal. He's confused, and she explains the situation, how she's worked for all of this, and he ruined it. He wants to know how long she's been doing this, and she says almost 10 years. And he's dumbfounded. She's been sneaking off pack territory for a decade. She says she drove 5 miles to sell honey and jam. She's not a criminal mastermind. Like, come on. Like, he would have said no to an escort. And he's mad. But she's
Well,
angry, sitting in the dirt. And
not
he's
your.
probably realizing that he's an asshole. And he's trying to convince her how to get back in the car and back to his cabin. And she tries to argue that the crone severed the bond. And he says no, not all the way he can feel it. She tells him she hates him.
I mean, technically, the crone only severed her bond because she said she
Right.
didn't do his.
Right.
So
He says he'll buy her more mushrooms.
that's you
She doesn't have to
can't.
fight it. It'll be good.
You cannot buy. Nope.
She says that it won't. And they bicker back and forth about pack life and rules all the way back to the vehicle. And Una just feels defeated. And he brings her back to his cabin. And as she makes her way up the stairs, he realizes that there are stairs at every fucking cabin in this place, including the lodge and everywhere else. And stairs are really hard for her with her leg. And how
'Cause
much
now he cares.
has escaped him. He realizes how much he's missed and how much the unmated females have like just been left. He gets them some clothes. Una's disgusted by the smell of females all over the cabin, and she goes out to the porch saying she can't stay there any longer. She'll throw up. Killian makes some calls to have his house deep cleaned and the furniture replaced. The females haven't really made it past the couch, and it was only for giving him blowjobs. He's never actually mated any of the females because he didn't want to give them that kind of power. So he's still a virgin. And he checks in with Ty, and Ty is pissed because Killian was supposed to be at meetings and know what was going on. And Killian decides that they can go there while his cabin is being cleaned out and all situated. And they stop at Una's cabin to get her real clothes on the way, and all of her roommates come out and surround her, scared of what Killian's going to do. And he's kind of in a rock and a hard place. But Una just glares at him, saying he's not going to do anything. He says that's not true. They're going to have a guard posted, and if that guard doesn't smell all of them at all times, he'll move them to the basement. And then it dawns on him because of their faces and the horror and what they're just thinking. So he backpedals, saying that, no, they're just grounded to the cabin for a week, maybe a couple days, as he keeps going under Una's withering glare. Because the old people used to keep females in the basement to use basically as their sex dolls.
Well, listen, that's where we need to keep the men.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's where the men belong.
Yeah. We need to find a book where they keep men underground. I think that we saw some at some point.
Probably.
Yeah. And then he realizes that they've been sneaking out for 10 years and how dangerous that is, and that he has been the one not paying attention. So it's on him. He kind of steals himself and asks what they need. What does the pack not provide? Kennedy shows him her PlayStation. He's a little irritated that they risked their lives for video games. That's not the point, but that's what he's thinking. And he offers to play a cage fighting game with them while Una gets showered and changed. And he tells them that he doesn't need to ground them, that they learned their lesson. And he knows because she's going to be a good mate. And he leads her to Ty's place, going on about like teasing her about how, because she's still kind of ignoring him, about how she can wash his laundry, clean his cabin, and all this stuff if that's what she wants, and she can have her stuff. And she says that that's not why they were selling things in the market. She doesn't want to just be a female or a mate. She wants to have her own identity, her own things. And Killian grabs her hand and realizes that he's got to be patient and work on her. Killian gets caught up to speed on all the comings and goings of pack life at Ty's cabin, and Una just kind of sits there, except for the fact that Eamon and another wolf make threats to her under their breath while Killian's talking with Ty. But eventually, Killian finishes up, and he gets her out of there. They go back to Killian's cabin, but now it smells like the girl who came and cleaned and changed out the furniture. And she's really sensitive to smells right now. She doesn't realize that it's a heat thing, but the men at Ty's cabin laughed about her being sensitive, saying that that will happen until a mate's heat is met. And she scoffs because she thinks she's done with all that. Crone stopped it. But Killian has her sit on the porch in a chair while he scrubs down the whole cabin and swaps stuff out again himself. And she's so tired after a long day that she just starts dozing off. And when he wakes her, when he's done, she can almost feel the tinglings of where the bond should be. She's wondering if he's right, if it could come back. She was originally told no, but now she's not sure because she feels it. And she's too tired to think. And he guides her into bed where she falls asleep. And when she wakes, her body is on fire. Killian wakes to her squirming around and he tries to talk with her, not realizing what's going on, and tries to tell her that it might not make a difference, but he's never actually slept with anyone. He was saving that for his mate, even though he didn't think his mate was coming along. But Una is too in her head, and nothing she's thinking or feeling makes any sense. She just has this insane need to fix the bedroom and fix the bed, so that's what she does. She gets to work almost like in a trance and even opens the windows wide so she can have the moon come in, but Killian is not having that. He's not going to have anyone who walks by see her. And now he's starting to think he can understand what's going on. So he says, next time they'll go out to the old dens deep in the woods. No one will bother them. And she's like, no, they need to go there now. And he says that they can't because they need other males to scout it first, and he can't have other males around her right now. Not like this. Not while she's in heat. And she says, no, she's not in heat. Being in heat hurts. And he says, no, it's not supposed to. And he just apologizes because it was bad because he wasn't there. And she's running
Yeah,
out of
because he's a
patience.
dipshit.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Even though it doesn't make any sense, and she's adamant that she wants nothing to do with him, but she tries to get all their clothes off and get him to come on top of her. And he makes sure that she really wants this because she doesn't seem like herself, but she's all over him, licking down him. And even though he's trying to say that they need to wait, he doesn't want her to hate him for it. She is all over him until he snaps and pins her to the bed, asking who she belongs to. And even in heat, she can't quite answer that. So he asks, what can he do to fix this? How can he make it right? And she just cries out that she doesn't know. She's so overwhelmed and she's just trying to touch herself and relieve the ache. So he takes over for her and uses his fingers to bring her to orgasm, which finally crashes her down. And she's confused and asks what they did, what's going on. And he just says that she's going into heat and that they just took the edge off. And she feels very saddened and alone. And he just asks if she hates him now. She tells him that he hurt her. She can feel the bond, very faint, but more than before. And so it's kind of more of a reality. And she can feel his hurt and his regret down the bond. And he tells her to rest. And when she wakes up, Killian has made her breakfast. She's still feeling out of sorts and defeated and betrayed and not sure how it could even be fixed. They have to go to the gym because Killian has to oversee his people a little, but they are quite the distraction at the gym. Killian is obsessed with watching Una, and he's getting some flashbacks from when they were little that he did not remember before. And she clearly doesn't want to give him the time of day, so he basically shows his neck to her, which is like a big deal of submission. And they end up leaving because he asserts his dominance over them and shows that she's still dominant over him, basically. And then they need to go back to the house for a little while because a little tight there, a little tension there. And when Luna tries to get ready to go to dinner to serve, he's like, what the fuck? She's like, that's her job. And he's like, nope, not anymore. And they have this big argument about who should serve then and what the rules are because he doesn't quite understand the workings, apparently, of how things are for other people. And he just distracts her by going down on her. She tries to fight him off first, saying that they're going to be late and that this doesn't change anything, but then she ends up submitting. And when they eventually head off to the dining hall, he thinks that they've taken up enough time that she won't need to serve until they actually get there and realize that everyone has been waiting to eat. Because apparently nobody eats until he's served. Which he had no idea that even happened because he's a dumb fucking fuck.
I was
He's
just gonna say he's
oblivious.
such an idiot. Like, you fucking idiot. Like the
Yeah.
the amount of power this man has
Mm-hmm. We also
compared to
remember he rose to power as a very young kid, but he's not a young kid anymore. He's basically
they
30.
that's the thing is like he's had all of these years to
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, learn
Put it together.
anything.
Anything?
Literally anything.
Anything.
Anything. And he's just like
Learn anything.
he's like stuck so far up his own fucking ass that like he's a dumb stupid man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Get your fucking shit together. You rule these people. What the fuck?
Yeah. So he heads back to the kitchen, clears off a table, and has them set it up buffet style and tells them all to serve themselves. But do it like you're getting on a raft. Elders first, women and children next, and then males last. Una and
What is this, the
Killian's,
Titanic? Sorry.
yeah, basically. Una and Killian sit down to eat, and Killian gets a memory of how he literally took over his pack and started turning things around for women and children because of Una. And
Oh, he
when
wasn't
he
doing a good
woke
job about it.
And because when he woke up after a few days after his first shift, he had no memories of anything. His father just told him it was a fever-induced first shift, but the feelings of needing to change still were instilled in him. And he realized that it was all because of her, what happened to her and everything else. And let's just say the buffet thing doesn't quite go as planned. Everyone kind of squabbles over it. Yeah. Eamon and Lachlan and a couple of their groupies stand up in a challenging way to question Killian because he's sitting there with Una. And Eamon starts talking about how human police came by because they wanted to make sure that everything was symbiotic with Killian attacking a human and all that, don't you know? And how Una has been going into town for quite some time without permission or an escort. And so have some of the other unmated females.
Because they're
And
women.
right, and he hears they're even allowed to have a phone.
Rights? Women have rights?
This is all completely unacceptable. Killian waits for a moment and then looks at Una and defers to her, asking, well, can females go into town? Can they have phones? And she says yes, that they shouldn't have to ask permission. A man doesn't. And Eamon says that Una is not his alpha. And then Hazley stands up and says that she has a question, staring at Una, smirking, that she was attacked unprovoked by Una, and she won. So according to their laws, that means she ranks above Una. And she says that females should not be allowed to risk everyone's lives for foolish escapades off territory, and that maybe the unmated females need to spend a night back in the basement so they can remember to be thankful for what the
And
pack
maybe
allows them.
you can go get fucked. But wouldn't her
I'm
being
just saying,
his
in the real
mate put
world, she
her
would be
above?
MAGA.
Yeah.
So, but why she's saying if you win a fight, you're above. So that means
Mm.
she's above him and her in that retrospect, like
Oh,
is what she's
gotcha,
kind of
gotcha.
getting at in her little smarmy way. Yeah.
She
And
can go
that's
to the
the
basement.
she can fuck around and find out. And that's the last straw for Una, who has been simmering this whole time. She stands up and tells Hazley that she needs to shut her mouth or she'll shut it for her. It gave shut your whore mouth.
Yeah.
Hazley, instead, goes on, picking off each one of the unmated females, talking trash about them, and Killian looks to Una to make sure that they're on the same page, and Una tells her that the alpha belongs to her, and then they shift together. It's clear that Una's wolf is capable of commanding Killian's wolf. So yeah, Hazley cowers and submits real fast because she doesn't want to go against Killian.
Yeah.
And then clothes are handed to them by Gale. And after a bit, Una does address the crowd and says that it is dangerous to go in town alone, but it isn't fair to keep all the unmated females locked up and beholden. That strength is in numbers. They should be going into town as a group. Killian says, should they go now? This is all just so weird, by the way. And he's all like, what would they go for? And she's like, maybe ice cream? They can all go for ice cream together. All the kids are begging their parents, and even the elderly are like sold. So they're like, okay. Eamon and Laughlin are sulking. This is the strangest thing. I didn't understand. I mean, I understood it, but it was just weird. They all go into town for ice cream together. Killian tells Una that she rules him, therefore she rules the pack. That it's a pain in the ass, but they need to get used to it. Una's heat is rising again, and Killian is smelling her, and it's starting to force him to go into rut, and he doesn't know if he can hold back. So they don't last long getting ice cream and take off on their own. So Ty is gonna lead everyone back after everyone enjoys their ice cream, which honestly half of them hate it, which is kind of funny. But they get to the cabin and he tells her that he doesn't think he can stop. And she says she doesn't want him to. They instantly fuck, and Killian knots her and asks if she's okay. And she says yes. And he says he tried to go easy on her because it was her first time. And she's like, it wasn't her first time. And his wolf sees red. He does not react very well. That's a little bit of a understatement, but yeah, his wolf starts to try to come out, and Una's fucking scared, and she rips herself off his knot, and that pain and fear is really
Dude, I
not
feel
great
like
for
that would
wolf.
feel awful.
Yep,
Ripping
yep,
yourself off a knot.
yep.
Ugh.
And she like just like huddles in the corner, and his wolf is going nuts, and they're trying to grab her with her teeth to keep her there because she's backing away from him, and it's not good until he senses such fear from her and doesn't really feel their bond, and that allows Killian to take back the body, and Killian goes outside to get some air and calms down and feels all the idiot that he is. He rejected her in front of everyone, and now he's losing his shit because she was with someone else before she knew about him. And he has another memory resurface about how distraught he felt when him and Una were healing at the Crone's cottage, how he can't protect her because he's just a kid, and the crown and the crown and the crone. That's what it is. I keep saying crown.
The crowd.
The crone talks to him and makes him realize that Una's not safe with the way the pack is now. And he wants to know how to fix it. And she gives him a drink and says that it's a choice to take it. But if he does, he's going to let her go for now and let her be happy while he grows strong and is able to make changes within the pack to make her safe. And if not, she'll just be his possession, just like everyone else in the pack. And with the Crone's assurance that she'll be okay, he drinks, and the crone says that she'll be safe until he's ready and that she'll be free. She won't be waiting for him because she won't know. And he knows that this is the only choice, so he gives the drink to Una too. So that's how basically they lose their memories and shit. And when Killian goes back inside, he finds Una stripping the nest apart, and he quietly just takes the stuff and starts trying to put it back in place. And he tells her he was wrong and he had no right to act like that. And he wants to know why she's scared because she had calmed down a bit, but now there's new fear spiking in her. And she just says that he could hurt her again. But then they hear a scream and a large boom. And it's coming from the unmated female cabin. And Una tries to book it for them, but Killian grabs her, telling her she needs to stay. He can't keep her safe if he's worrying about her. He won't be able to protect the pack. So please just stay. And then they hear the alarm sound from the commons saying, emergency, emergency. All females and pups report to the lodge. All men to the stations. And emergency. So he takes off while Una stays on the porch. And then one of the males, the young males, who uh, yells to her and tells her to come quick. And Killian's gone. So she rushes into the woods after them, and then like recognizing who it is and asking if he's hurt because he sounds like there's something wrong. And when she gets there, he grabs her, and then all of a sudden she's surrounded. There are ATVs waiting with Lachlan heading up the front, and Eamon is there and a couple of their men. And then there's a bunch of wolves that are not part of their pack, it's part of the neighboring pack. And they have Mary, Annie, and Kennedy, which I don't know. I don't really understand because Killian should have smelled them, I guess, on his way by, but they probably went around the other side and he went straight to them and he was attacked in his own ambush.
Listen, we've learned Killian's basically useless.
Yeah.
So
Um, Una feels him fighting off the ambush and she calls through the bond to him once she realizes the situation, knowing that he'll come. And she's reaching so far down the bond and she's shifting through all of Killian's emotions and everything until she can actually see the memory that he had earlier that night. And she realizes everything. And she knows that he's close and he's coming, but that it's also a trap. So she tries to signal to him that she's okay and to be calm and smart about it, but he's coming in guns blazing. And so she quickly steps near Lachlan, like in front, who grabs her and holds a knife to her throat because Una thinks that she needs to save Killian or this amount of people might decimate him. And once he comes into the clearing, force commands him to shift because it's the wolf. And Killian shifts and asks if none of them really have the balls to challenge him one on one. And he looks at Una asking why. Like she shouldn't put herself in danger ever. And she says she had to do something. He was going to kill everyone. He says he still is. She says he shouldn't. The young males that are following Eamon and Lachlan, they're just poisoning their minds. Like he can't slaughter all of their potential men. That this is his pack, even the dumb ones. Not Lachlan and Eamon though. Fuck them.
Lachlan, I just want to punch that man in the face.
Yeah.
Also, he could technically kill them all. Who cares?
Well, that's how he feels. But she's
That's
like,
how I feel
you
too.
can't lose your pack numbers.
Well, too bad. So sad. First thing I agree with him on. Kill
Yeah.
everybody.
Yep. Kill everybody. She says, plus she knows something that Lachlan doesn't. Lachlan doesn't know how much pressure it takes to buckle a fucked up knee. And she slams her heel back into his knee that was all fucked up from before, and it buckles his injury. And then she shifts. And once she's safe, Killian turns into his wolf and goes nuts, ripping out Eamon's throat. And the neighboring pack wolves flee as Killian goes from male to male, ripping them with his claws. He crushes Lachlan, and then Killian's wolf and Una's sniff each other, and then they turn back. Killian looks at all of the groupie minions and tells them to go back to camp and decide if they want to stay. That if they do, they're at the bottom of the pack and they're not allowed within 50 feet of any female, that they've lost the privilege, whether they're mated or not. Or they can leave and hope that the neighboring pack will take them in. The girls all cry and hug each other, Kennedy telling Una that those guys blew up their cabin. Like, where are they going to live now? And Killian says that they can take their pick out of whichever of the assholes he killed, his cabins. Anyone they want. And I mean, one is right kitty corner from his, so if they want that one, it's fair game. And they're like, solid. And then his men come because they must have been free from fighting the other ambush. And they help the girls get to where they need to go. And Killian takes Una up to the old den caves where people often go during heat because he can tell hers is coming in fast. She doesn't know how she feels about everything because, on one hand, it was great the first time with Killian until it wasn't. And she is feeling better about the situation, but she's still kind of mixed up. They use the cave pools to clean up all the blood, and Una basically starts dictating how things are going to be moving forward. How basically any female who wants to sell things at the market can, and that they need rotations for laundry and kitchen duties for everyone. And if females want to fight in the ring, they should be allowed to. He asks if that's all her demands, and she says she wants gardens and a greenhouse. Like, give me it all. And
I mean, fair.
yeah,
But I would also ask for all of those things. So,
they talk about the memories that have resurfaced and their time together at the Crone's cottage when they were young after the attack. And Killian kisses her, and Una takes that opportunity to finally bite Killian and mark him as hers. And Una just feels on fire until they mate in happiness. And then we have an epilogue 18 months later. Una is at the end of her pregnancy. She has her greenhouse, and she does not tell Killian that they have a locked room in the back of the greenhouse that they grow things like hemlock and henbane so that they have the supplies ready if the neighboring pack ever gives them trouble again. Una has created a system for the lower ranked males to work their way up and earn their place, including the ones that were punished so they're not just miserable forever and going to be a problem. And females are enjoying life a lot more. They're gardening and doing what they want, and some are even learning how to fight. And they've been able to sell things online now that they're allowed to have bank accounts and money, and they're all happy. And I feel lied to by the internet, like I said in the beginning, because there was one chase and capture scene
yeah.
and mounting, which
Yeah.
is how that resulted. But I don't feel like it had the primal shift feel to it. Like, did those things technically happen? Yes. Could someone say that that's what that was? Also, yes. To me, it didn't have that primal chase shifter element. It just didn't feel like that's
We
what it
needed,
was.
I fully agree. We were lied to by the internet. God damn it.
So, like, like I said, technically, sure, but it just didn't feel it. I didn't feel that. So
No.
it wasn't necessarily a bad book, but it didn't fit what I was looking for. So that's the
Hmm.
bummer.
Yeah.
But that's the book.
Yay! Cool story, bro. Um, how about okay, favorite character?
The Wolves.
Yes, the wolf side of things. I liked that
Yes.
a lot. Yeah, no, I liked that.
And maybe the
Yeah,
crone.
yeah, the witch.
She's a witch.
Yes, I liked her and I liked the wolves a lot. Um, sorry. Least favorite character.
Killing without his wolf. Or, yeah, killing without his wolf.
And then what is that dude name? The
And
douchebag.
Hazley.
Oh, I don't like Hazley either. Lachlan. Lachlan? Laughlin?
Lachlan sucked. But Lachlan was Aemon's nephew, so he just learned to be Aemon.
Eh,
They all sucked. The good old boys team.
yeah, but here's the thing. You can be raised a certain way and learn things a different way and not turn
Yeah,
out that way. So,
yes, you can. No, I'm
so
not negating he has problems, but they all have, problems.
I'm aware, but not gonna let you get away with defending a man for like
I'm not
point 0.5
defending
seconds.
him. I'm not defending him at all.
Anyways, cool.
Gross.
Where the fuck did it go? I had it pulled up. Okay.
So the scenes were not great, if
We're
that's
not
where you're
there
going with
yet.
this. Oh, just kidding. Sorry. Just
You
kidding.
sound like me. Amazon gives us a 4.2, Goodreads a 3.8, and Storygraph is a 3.61.
What did you rate it?
Um, I gave it like a 3.5-ish.
I believe
I
that's what.
wavered between a
Yeah.
3 and a 3.5.
I give it a 3.5. It wasn't bad. It just wasn't
What you
as
wanted.
good as I
Yeah.
want. Yeah.
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 I get that.
It wasn't tragic, but it was better than a lot of the other things we've read.
Yes. We've been on a rough streak lately. Okay.
And I wish that so Kennedy was one of the unmated females. I
Hmm.
wish they explained her situation a little bit more before towards the end because it was just kind of weird and I didn't know if it was typos at first, but then it was like
Um,
explained at the end. So because Kennedy is a female, but her wolf is a male. So like
okay.
I was just a little confused at first and I didn't know
Well,
how
Kennedy
it
is book
worked.
7,
Yeah, and
which is really far down the line.
well, right. I went to look for the next one, which is
Oh, it's not
um
even done yet. The book's not even written fully.
oh yeah. I went to look for the next one, which is
The heir
the
apparent, it's
the one
Rosie.
well no,
R-
so that's what I'm trying to explain. I went to look for the next one because they hinted heavily to the next book at the end of this one and during,
mhm.
but it's not the next one. It's the third one.
Mari?
Yeah,
Gotcha. Yeah, because the next book is Rosie.
because they made a big deal about that whole
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
I didn't talk about it because it wasn't part of this, but well, it was, but it wasn't needed to
No,
this
yeah.
book. Yeah.
Right, 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 right.
But yes. And then on the Pepper side of things, honestly, the scenes weren't that great. Like it
No.
wasn't,
We've read better.
yeah. So maybe a poblano and a half, but again, it wasn't like the best quality.
Yeah,
And it
this
was
was not a one-handed
and it was
read.
not, I was gonna say it was not a one-handed read for me.
Yeah. I would survive, but I would be very murderous, so I
Yeah,
might have actually been killed.
I would survive. I probably would have left honestly long ago or lived with the crone,
Yeah.
but I did that backwards, but
Yeah.
that's okay. I did that super backwards. I'm an idiot.
You're not an idiot.
Whatever.
You're fine.
Survivals all around. Let's see what we're reading next.
Yes. Let's me bring it up. Boop, boop, boop. Okay. Are we ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
You shuffle it up, you said?
Yeah, I shuffled a lot. All right, let's spin it. The morningwood tree. Oh, this is mine. This is the unhinged one. This is the mega unhinged one.
Oh boy.
Okay,
Oh
so
boy.
next week we're going to be reading The Morningwood Tree by Siggy Shade. Being forced to marry into a sicko cult wasn't even the weirdest part of my day. I thought my fiance was a good guy. Not the greatest in the sack, but decent marriage material. Too bad it took finding him in a compromising position with his mother to figure out how wrong I'd been. When they told me they'd kill me if I ran away, I believed them. I didn't, however, believe them when they said the magical ash tree in the woods would eat me alive. Wrong again. Lucky for me, Ash didn't kill me. Turns out he likes my stories and my sap. So I'm sure I can convince him to let me go once he's been properly satiated. I never thought the killer tree holding me captive would turn out to be a better man and lover than the idiot I married. But he is. Now I'm starting to wonder if a girl with roots in the city and a tree with roots in the woods, literally, can find their happily ever after together.
Okay.
Hey, listen. You said unhinged.
I did. I did.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
I just I don't think I have words for that. Don't think I have words for that at all.
So, join us next week for a book about a tree.
Yeah. Make sure to keep reading.
And keep it smutty.
Woods to a Berta's a Berta. See? A Berta. To a Bertha's cat, but to a Bertha's cottage. She can leave. And he leave. And he goes. And he goes. And he goes.
And we go. And we
And we
go. So it goes. Sorry.
Una heads in and faces her roommates. They surround.
Her what? Her broommates?
Yep. That's why I was going back.
With a broom? Are we flying like witches? we're wolf witches. We fly on brooms.
I'd read that.
I'm sure you would.
Oh, fuck.
Oh, fuck.